Ooh, okay, I'm excited. I am excited. I don't know how many of y'all are in there right there. Okay. I'm very excited for this. Very excited. Hi, guys. Hello, everybody. She's going to join in just a second. So I just want to get everything situated. But I'm so excited for this, and thank you all for coming. I'm sorry the lighting is so bad. I brought my lights that I usually use for my videos to Amfest, and they're not there anymore. I think Taylor accidentally took them home. But hi, guys. Hello. I'm very excited for this. First of all, before we start, I need to talk to you guys. I need to talk to y'all. Please, everybody, if you're watching this, please be nice in the comment section. I don't care. I don't care which way the argument may go. If I sound stupid or if she may sound stupid, I literally do not care. Be nice, because we're not going to treat them with disrespect. We're not going to treat them with the same disrespect that they could treat us. Okay? We're different. Remember what Charlie told us. Charlie told us that he wants us to treat everyone with respect. So everyone, please be respectful. There's a lot of y'all in here for live, but she's going to be here in just a moment. She just told me. It should be maybe, I don't know how long, but she literally just said, I'm almost ready. So, yes, but I'm glad that I started this because I really would love y'all to just be respectful, okay? Respect. But, yes, I've never done one of these specifically before. Okay, Eric, I actually was thinking about asking you, but we've debated so many times, and every single time we debate, Eric is my friend, by the way, guys. He's my friend. He's one of my really good friends. And we're both in debate, actual debate, and so we debate all the time. And he's pro-choice. Oh, there's Tiara. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna request it, accept. Okay. But sorry, Eric, I was thinking of you, but every single time we debate, our debates always go the same. Hello!
Hi!
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. Thank you so much for doing this. Seriously, thank you so much. Okay. Oh, let me just put my phone on. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you so much again for joining. Seriously, you're seriously a lifesaver. I was freaking out whenever she wouldn't answer me. So.
You're fine. Are you able to hear me okay? Because my internet is so terrible. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually trash.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty. Did you want to go ahead and give your stance and I can give my stance of where you fall and what I guess your exceptions are, or what the point is for you where you would.
Of course. So for me, abortion, I would necessarily say for me it's okay to get an abortion, up to a certain point of the baby's, how do I put this? Expectancy, it's okay to get one. Especially if there are valid reasons behind it. Even if not, let's say if there isn't a valid reason, if you aren't able to afford to take care of your baby, I also see that as kind of a valid reason, because not everyone can take care of it, and that's more than okay. Because abortion has also helped my family personally. And so without abortion, we probably wouldn't be in the position we are today. But other than that, I feel abortions are helpful, and they can help a lot of people in different ways, along with IVF and all that. And I feel it is okay,
Mm-hmm. Do you have a certain week point or trimester or month that you would say no more?
I would prefer if no one got an abortion after the first trimester, because after the first trimester, I feel it is cruel at that point. At that point, it's okay, let's backtrack, guys.
So is it just first trimester for you?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's the typical that I usually get. So like there's
Yeah.
not many people that are extreme that are like all 9 months. Like of
No,
course that's
if you're all
sometimes
9 months, like you're just cruel. I feel like that's like that's where it starts to become like, oh, okay. Like I
Yeah.
get we agree, but like let's not agree that hard. Like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So my point is I used to be pro-choice actually. I don't know if you know this. I used to be liberal and I used to be very pro-choice. And eventually I was like, okay, maybe I'm pro-life except for after a certain point. I think it was second trimester, that's whatever. And then it was okay, first trimester, but all exceptions with rape, like rape, incest, life of mother, all of that. And then eventually it was like, okay, none, not the trimester, but just rape and incest and life of mother. And now I don't have any exceptions. I believe in the equal human life for everybody. I don't believe there's a certain point in the, like, I don't think there's a week, I don't think there's a trimester where life should be not considered value enough for life. I think there's a fundamental right to life. That's number one. I think our number one right is the right to life. And so and I think that like the moment of conception, life deserves protection. So I guess like my question for you is why don't you believe that everybody should get the fundamental right to life?
It's not necessarily like they don't get to have the fundamental right to life, because I think everyone should. You know, like even if like you know you are thinking about getting an abortion, like you know, if you do have that second thought in your head, maybe I shouldn't get it. Step away from it. You know, that's once again, it's like your choice. So like, if you do think that baby should live, then you should think that it should live. But also, I think that if it's like rape or incest, sometimes that burden can be carried, and so
Mhm.
it's not always the baby's fault. You know, like because everyone does have that right to life, but at the same time, I feel like if this is too much pressure for me, then I feel like I should be able to back out of it. Because even though you can't carry it all 9 months, there are ways to back out of it once you have the baby. But at the same time, someone may not want to go through all the things that come with pregnancy, because there's a lot that can come with pregnancy, and not everyone is ready to deal with that.
Right. I think, but my belief is that just because there are some trials that come with pregnancy, I think that life still deserves protection because, like, life, like, in every single sense, I think that in my stance is that bodily autonomy ends the moment that human life is at risk. I think that, like you said, like a little comment that you think that everybody deserves, like, you know the science behind, babies, right? And like, you understand that life begins at conception, correct?
I kind of agree to disagree on that, because like scientifically it does say that, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of iffy, because like if like life were to begin at conception, abortions probably wouldn't be a thing. But I can agree that since science has said that life begins at conception, it does.
Okay. As I just want to make it like plain and simple that
Yeah.
biologically and scientifically, life does begin at life, or life does begin at conception. And so, I think that like from the moment of conception, life deserves protection. And I think that putting the mother's needs over the baby's needs, or not even the baby's needs, but the baby's life should never happen. I think that life should always come before, over once. And I think it's like 97% or 99% of abortions that occur are because of personal inconvenience. And I do not think that we should end the life of a human being because of personal inconvenience.
What would you consider like personal inconvenience?
Oh, this baby might hurt my economic needs. Oh, I don't know if I'm quite ready. I want to have babies later. I think I want to I don't I just had this one night stand. But like I don't want to like because I had this one night stand, I don't think that means that I should have a baby. Like that's personal inconvenience. It's like less than point or less than 1% is the rape and incest, and like I still believe in rape and incest. I think that Patriotic Cucumber made a video about this, and I 100% agreed with her. I think that pro-lifers, like, we believe that every single human life begins at conception, therefore it needs protection. And it doesn't matter if that baby comes from it doesn't matter if that baby comes from a loving family or if it comes from an unfortunate circumstance. I think that it happens. I think 100% it needs like it doesn't matter where the conception comes from, it needs protection.
I think that with the whole incest thing, even though it's not as big of a percentage, which is like a good thing, I feel like it's also like a kind of a bad thing. Not to say like that bringing the life into this world is a bad thing. Like the story behind it is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Especially because it can come with like casualties. It can come with not so great things, and also with
What do
the
you mean
child
casualties? Like with the
like
mother or the baby itself
the
dying?
baby itself, the baby can come out deformed, come out with like baby, like sometimes babies don't grow right when you constantly mix the same genes constantly over and over,
Yeah.
especially with immediate family members. So with the baby coming out and then the story behind it already, so you don't know what your baby's outcome will be. Not saying that you shouldn't love your baby no matter how they look, because you should always love your baby, but at the same time, the outcome in general, the story behind how
Exactly.
you got
You don't know what the outcome is going to be. And so therefore ending the human life, you could say, oh, the baby could come out poor, but also I hate the logic like the baby could grow up poor because I mean, it's as if you're saying that no one has ever rose above their circumstances. I mean, we see this with gosh, what's that? Mike with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan grew up extremely poor. And like imagine if his mother aborted him because he might grow up poor. Like he would have become a basketball star. And I think that the whole like, oh, they might be deformed, I think that's an entirely weak argument. And I think it also goes to the argument that, oh, it's okay to just kill all deformed human beings that are like older than out of the womb because like then you're because like I feel like that's just excusing act like if you excuse killing a deformed baby inside of the womb, that's also excusing killing a deformed out of the womb because
Yeah,
it's because
I
you're
don't
saying it's
think that,
deformed.
like I said, I feel like you should love your children regardless of how they turn out, how they look out. No matter what, love your children no matter the
Mhm.
circumstances. But at the same time, a lot comes with having an incest baby. Like your grandpa is also your father. And then you have to you don't have to tell people that, but at the same time, it's like it's weird, especially for you. And then you have like this. I feel like I don't know how people have felt with incest because I can't relate, but like there's probably a burden that comes with that because now it's like my grandfather dad is like my mom's dad as well, and now he's my dad. Like it comes with a lot, and sometimes like emotions like become overwhelming, and sometimes people don't want to live their life all the way through. Now, not saying that you should just go out here and feel like a burden because of what happened on how you were conceived, but at the same time, we have to think about the emotions that come with these things.
So
You
do you
know,
think that we should just kill all incest children right now?
No, that's why I think it should be your choice. If you want to have your incest baby, have your incest baby. If you don't want to have it, don't have it.
Do you think it's okay for a mom to kill, let's say the child's 5 years old now and she's tired of the baby? Do you think it's okay to just kill her now because it's an incest baby?
No, because then that would be murder, and then you have options out there. Not saying that I would hope that you wouldn't just get tired of your child and just want to go give it up, but I would hope you want to think it through. But if it did get down to that point where you're like, maybe this wasn't the right thing for me, adoption is always the best option. I mean, like after that point, um, or even you don't even
Why
have to.
why after that point though? Why can't you just endure the
The
pregnancy
child
so you don't kill somebody and then
it
you
has
can give up that
already
baby
had
for adoption?
the child is already like you said at 5 years old. That child has experienced things up to this point. Like now they're out in the world. They're thriving. Like why take that life away now at this point when you can always there's always other options. They can go live with another family member or you can give it up for adoption. Like there are ways around just murdering a child.
So then what
Like
about a 1 day old baby, 1 day incest baby? Like as
you
soon
can
as it's born, do you think it's okay to kill it then?
no, you can go.
But it hasn't lived life yet, so
You
like
can
your
always
logic falls.
now this baby is out the womb. Now it's time for it to die. Now it's time for it to experience things. So you can therefore take your baby to the fire station. They offer safe haven baby boxes, or you can put it up for adoption, or you can become what are those things called, a surrogate. You can become a surrogate while your baby's still in the womb. Also, while explaining the casualties that come along with your baby. Hey, this baby may not come out without casualties. You may have to have extra doctor's appointments for it because it is an incest baby and all of this and all of that. Give the whole spiel, and one way or another, a lucky family will probably take your baby.
I think it's really cruel to automatically deem that this life deserves protection at the like first day rather than having it protection at this freaking, sorry, I don't mean to say freaking. I say that
No, you're
whenever
fine.
okay.
You're fine.
Whenever like at the from the moment of conception, because like life for me it is, I don't look at people that were formed from incest. I don't look at them any differently. I don't look at somebody with Down syndrome any differently. I
And
think that
I
every
think you
single
should.
life deserves human. I think it everything every single human being deserves the equal protection of life. And I think that just because it's younger in a different location, then like I don't then that automatically means it doesn't deserve life.
But not
Like
everyone thinks
moving on
like,
from like the incest topic, because I think that the incest like a little dragged on. But like, yeah.
but not everyone thinks like you and me. Also, like, some people out here really do think that, oh, it doesn't matter. It's this weirdo, like, and not everyone thinks like you and me. I don't look at people with Down syndrome differently. I don't look at people with incest differently. You just have a different backstory from me. And
Yeah.
that's like, we have a similar way of thinking with that. That's our way of thinking, but not everyone has that way of thinking. And I think that's a really messed up way of thinking. But at the same time, you can't really change their opinion unless you do change their opinion. But most of the time, some people's opinions are very ignorant and they stay the same.
So just because some people's opinions are ignorant doesn't mean that we should just not uphold the law and uphold a moral compass. I mean, some people think that murder and stealing is plain okay, but does it mean that you should just make it legal because some people think a certain way from us?
I mean, there's gonna on certain things, stealing and murdering isn't okay, but with this could possibly help someone. Like this, like there are ways like around this, or there are ways to. Wait, what am I? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm looking rambling. Hold on, let me think. Okay, with murdering and stealing, there are plenty of ways around that. You don't have to steal. You don't have to murder. With abortion, there are plenty of ways around it, but at the same time, sometimes that is one of your only ways. And now
Well, I mean, with stealing, some people's only option is stealing if they want food, but does it make it okay?
No, but like with stealing, not to say that you have to beg, but most people are kind enough to give money. But like, if you
Yes,
choose to
there's
steal,
a
that's
bunch
your
of
choice.
pro-life pregnancy centers that tremendously help women. I mean, they're often ignored. I mean, for every one abortion clinic, there's three pregnancy centers that actually want to help women and their babies. And I think it's often ignored because it's so like because of the pro-choice propaganda that's on social media saying that you need to get an abortion, you need to.
I
And
don't
like
really
that's the only way you're
necessarily look
able.
at it as you need to get an abortion because the point of pro-choice is you have the option to get it or not to get it.
Mhm.
And some pro-choice women don't even like abortion, but they want you to have that option just in case you need it. Now, not saying that all pro-choice people are like that. Some people are like, no, you have to get the abortion if it's a rape baby. You have to get the abortion if it's an incest baby. And you really don't have to do anything in life. It's your choice. So and then I feel like there's a lot of pro life propaganda as well, especially with being like with pro life people being standing outside of abortion clinics. I don't want it. Sorry,
No,
but
you're good.
with pro life people standing outside of abortion, is someone opening my door? I'm sorry. I feel like I heard someone opening my door. But with people standing outside of abortion clinics, not all people go to Planned Parenthood for an abortion. Sometimes they go for a regular checkup. There are plenty of reasons people go to Planned Parenthood, but I also feel like pro
I'm
life
pretty
people.
sure it's 96% of the appointments are made are because of or for abortions. Like
Yeah,
they offer multiple different services, but I think it's 96 or 95% of the appointments that are made are because of abortion.
and then also that's not always the case though. That's like that's kind of like my whole point. But also you don't always know someone's backstory.
Hmm.
You can't always just judge the book by its cover, and maybe your reason isn't their reason. And I feel like that should be okay. Maybe we don't have the same reasons, but at the same time, let them have the option.
I don't think you should ever have the option to kill a human being.
I mean, no birth certificate, no death certificate. You know,
The Amish don't have birth certificates.
yeah, the Amish are a
Do you think we should just
different
kill the
way of life.
Amish?
I mean, no, the Amish deserve their way of life, because we have our way of life, they have their way of life. And the Amish don't believe in a lot of things that we don't believe in. They don't believe in electricity, they don't believe in our way of living. So,
Okay, I'm not really sure where we're going with this argument right now. I think the argument of no birth certificate, no death certificate is extremely weak, and I think I think there's way better arguments that you can make with that.
I'm not
But
gonna lie, that was lucky a joke. I'm not gonna lie,
yeah,
that was kind of just a little I promise.
no, it's okay. But um, I still guess I just don't understand. Like, can you give me, like, are you a my body, my choice person? Or are you just like, is that like one of your main arguments is my body, my choice? Is one of your main arguments, like, you
Um,
just don't know the circumstances, I guess.
it's not well. It is also part of my body, my choice, because it's my body. It's what I want to do with myself, especially if I have something else growing inside of me. But it also comes to play with just having the simple choice, just having the option, even if you don't need it, but it's still being available to you.
Okay. Why don't we get the choose to just shoot somebody on the street? Choice to just shoot somebody on the street.
Then you will go to jail or
No, but
prison
like what? But why will they go to prison?
because you are killing an active life on Earth.
But that baby in the womb is also an active life on Earth.
Not necessarily in the sense because you're still carrying that baby is still growing technically, so you really
We're
have to
still
look.
growing. I mean, I'm not done growing. I'm gonna get old. I'm gonna get gray hair one day.
It's not physically on Earth. I should put it like that. The baby is still technically like in your womb, not physically here. Well, how do because
It's
that sounds really dumb. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like terribly dumb. Um, how do I put this? Like I don't know how to put
no,
this,
you're
but
good.
I
You're
because
good.
I know what I'm saying, but like it doesn't
Hmm.
sound coming
No,
out.
take your time. Take your time. You're good.
Okay, I know how I put it, but I know how to put it out loud, but I know how to put it in my head, and it will not come out right. So we're
Okay.
gonna just have that.
With
Let's get
the
past it.
I'll touch on the my body, my choice thing. So I'm sure you've heard the argument like it's not just your body.
Mhm.
And my argument, like, it's obviously not just your body. I mean, think about whenever a pregnant woman, why, you've seen women's bathrooms before. Whenever you go to a restaurant where they serve alcohol, there's always a stool. On the stool, there's a sign that says, if you are pregnant, avoid drinking. If why isn't it just avoid drinking? It's if you're pregnant, avoid drinking, because it's not just you that's living right there. It's also the baby that's living. And so if you're like, I don't like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if it's not just your body, because like whenever you drink alcohol, it's not just affecting you, it's also affecting the baby inside of you, because that baby is a separate human being than you, and drinking alcohol will affect its development, therefore it's a different human life.
Well, if you put it like this, so say if that baby just like was just there, it didn't have your umbilical cord, it didn't have anything to do with you. It was just taking up space in your stomach, right? It
Hmm.
didn't. It did like if you were to drink, it didn't affect you. It's just there, right? If you drink alcohol, the baby shares your umbilical cord, so it shares.
Hmm.
You have to actually help the baby grow. So if you were to drink and drink and drink and drink, it's going to cause casualties when that baby comes out. It's going to come out with fetal alcohol syndrome.
Yeah.
But if your baby was just there and it didn't take up space, then that's just another body. Like then it's just another body because
So it
then
is
it's
another
able.
body then. So it is another
Yeah,
body.
then it's just another body if it doesn't have the umbilical cord attached to it. If it's able to grow on its own, then it's just another body.
It's still
Because I'm
a
not attached to my mom right now and I'm able to grow on my own. You're not attached to your mom right now. You're not able to grow on your own. But if there's just a baby inside of your stomach able to grow on its own,
Well, there's
then
babies that are born premature and they have to be hooked up to cords and wires, and they have to be in the hospital for a while because they're not done growing yet, and they still need help growing. And they're like, even though you doesn't necessarily mean the mom at that point, it's still a human being. Just because it's attached to cords and wires and needs to be helped by other people doesn't mean that it's not a baby. I mean, as soon as the baby comes out of the womb, and it's still going to need somebody else to take care of it. It won't survive just by itself. I mean, it's going to need the mother to feed it. It's going to need the baby. It's going to need the mother to feed it and give it drinks and take care of it, change its diaper. Like it's still going to need help at that point.
I not like this, but I feel like you misunderstood what I meant. Because like if the baby was just there and able to grow on its own, then you would be able to drink alcohol. But since you are attached to that baby physically, then you cannot drink alcohol. So like I said, it'll come out with casualties like fetal alcohol syndrome. And also, if you really do think about it, it's like a like joke slash like really dumb argument like to make it someone really wants to be ignorant. But you can leave a baby alone for like 10 minutes and then come back and your baby will be 9 times out of 10 fine. But if you were to leave a baby freshly conceived, a baby freshly conceived right there and walk away for 10 minutes, it wouldn't be fine.
Well, No, still, because it needs cords. Like because the babies that are born like premature, they're still need cords and stuff, and they can't be. They can't just like be from like unattached to all the cords, and they can't just like live for 10 minutes in the same. But does that make it any less human? Because it needs the cords.
Because it's basically mimicking the mother's womb, essentially.
So it is still a human being at that point. So you're kind of conceding my
So
argument. Like
it's like at that point when a baby is born prematurely, it's technically counted as a baby by then. Because usually women have, if it's a premature baby, I forgot how long the trimesters are. I literally took child development. I forgot. But like,
22 weeks is, I think, the youngest. It's 21 weeks is the youngest baby can survive outside the womb. So it's premature at that point.
um, where was I going with this? I lost track. Um, where was I going with this? Because um, it's considered like a like well enough developed baby to actually come out of the womb. Actually, it still needs stuff, but it's still able to be birthed. You can't birth the baby at 14 weeks and expect it to be okay. No,
Mm-hmm.
but you also can't birth the baby at what 22 weeks. You said, and
21 weeks, yeah.
but there's also ways to still help it. If you birth the baby at 14 weeks, then it's just there. You can't.
But it's still human, correct? Yeah. So therefore it still deserves human protection
So
and
if you
human
birth that
rights.
baby at
I
14
believe
weeks,
that the number one, there's three rights that we provide as citizens of America. Obviously, there's all of other. But you're in America, correct? There's life, there's liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Why do the babies that are also human beings not get the first fundamental, the right to life? Is it just because they're smaller and because of the location? That's what I'm trying to understand your argument. It's just because
it's not necessarily because of the location. You just so happen to be there. Like if we just so happen to be not conceive. Well, we just so happen to be. I don't know. I'm trying to put this. Oh my gosh, I literally suck at explaining. I'm so sorry.
no, you're fine.
We just so happen to be conceived that way. It just so happen to that's our only way like to grow. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not our fault that it happened that way. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily about the place or how it happened. It just so happened. So
That it
it's
needs something else to live.
exactly.
Okay, but
So
what about people, the elderly, that or somebody that has literally gotten in a car accident? They need plugs, they need cords, they need wires, they need a hospital and people to help them. Are they any less human because they need people to help them live?
no,
No. So why not the baby?
because this baby comes with casualties, like I said, or there are reasons behind as to why the baby
Wait,
cannot
what
cannot be
casualties? What casualties?
either rape,
Does
incest,
every
whatever.
single
The little
baby,
point was
every
said.
single baby that's ever been aborted because a casualty might happen?
I'm sorry, what?
Has every single baby that has ever been aborted have like been aborted because a casualty would happen?
No, probably
No,
not.
so it's not just because of casualties. It's because people see these little humans as less than human. It's called dehumanization. We've seen this all throughout history. We've seen this. We've seen people. I mean, they dehumanized Jewish people in the Holocaust. They dehumanized Black people during slavery, and now they're dehumanizing babies in the womb because they're less, because they're seen as less than, because they're smaller, and
I
because
don't really think they're seen as less than because they're smaller. I don't really think they're seen as less than in general because not all people get abortions just to not because they don't want the baby. Like I said, there are reasons behind it. So not everyone's reason is your reason, but
okay,
like I
what
said,
are the reasons?
like you said, economics, poor, unprivileged, or
Because they don't want the baby because it could hurt their economic status. So it's still because they don't want the baby.
I mean, it's very expensive to raise, let alone one child, multiple children in
Yeah,
America alone. So, or like you said, a one night stand. Like I
it's
wouldn't,
still
I'm not
because
gonna
they don't want
lie,
the baby.
I
Do you
wouldn't
think,
want to raise my child with a one night stand. We haven't gotten to know each other, but that would also be my fault because he didn't wear a condom. I knew I was having sex, and I should have told him to put on a condom. But at the same time, now I'm not gonna let that affect my life personally because I decided to make the dumb mistake. But at the same time, I hate that the baby will have to go. But not everyone also. doesn't feel a burden when they get rid of their baby. Some people feel like that's their last resort when it's not really, if I'm going to be honest. Like there are other ways around abortions, but some people feel like that's their last resort, and then in
It's
reality,
because of
they
the
have bills to
propaganda that's being spread by pro-choicers saying that's their only option. I mean, it's seriously like there's so like I said before, for every one abortion clinic, there's three pregnancy centers that actually want to help women economically, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. They want to help women in all these cases, and it's just there's so much propaganda that's pushed by the pro-choicers saying like this is the only option. You're not going to be able to survive economically. That's not the case. I mean, I volunteer at this pregnancy center quite. I think it's I volunteer. I try to at least 3 times a month, and this pregnancy and it's like one of the very many in Houston, very many. And there's and these people they provide for the woman. They give them housing, they give them food, they give them diapers, they give them formula, they give them so much because they know that babies are expensive, and they would rather have donate. And like I donate to pregnancy centers, and these people they use the supplies, and like they use the money to give supplies and help the woman, and I will always do that so I can protect human life. That's always the case. You should never trade human life for money ever.
I don't think it's necessarily a trade. I would say it's more so a thinking too far ahead in the future. Because, like you
Hmm.
said, if Michael Jordan was to ever be aborted because he grew up poor, you like that's thinking too far ahead in the future because he did eventually become a famous basketball player. So
Hmm.
I feel like some people do think too far ahead in life. What if me and this baby, we struggle too much, blah 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 blah. And like you said, there are pregnancy centers that help out women, or there are other options besides, abortion. But at the same
Hmm.
time, you can't really. Well, I mean, if you feel like that, you can fault someone. But in my eyes, you can't fault anyone for their choice. Well, their choice in abortion.
Okay, so my stance is abortion is murder. And so do you think it's okay do you think I should not look at somebody differently? Okay, let me give the situation, okay? There's this mom, and there's this mom and this dad, and they have a few kids, and the mom loses her job. Oops, the mom loses her job. And then now it's just the dad that's providing. And the dad eventually, like, he finds out that somebody's going to replace him. And if they lose a job, then they're gonna lose a ton of money. They're gonna go into debt. The mom can't find a job. The dad's not gonna be able to find a job. So the dad decides he's going to kill the person that is going to take his job um because they're gonna hurt financially. Do you think that's okay?
No,
Why?
because you're taking a life. That's for one. Two, there's no reason to do that. I understand you can't personally find a job, but there are ways around it. You can always apply for things through our government and blah 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 blah.
Exactly. So we can apply that same logic to the pro-life stance. There's other ways you can get help from pregnancy centers. It's taking a human life and abortion. So absolutely we should stop something that is taking human life for the mere idea of inconvenience.
But then you also have to think about it like this. Those same programs that you can apply for, like food stamps, welfare, all of that, unemployment, they've been not to put it like this, but they've been kind of used and abused throughout the system, and so it's kind of hard to get into those programs now. You need to meet this certain criteria, X, Y, and Z criteria, this, and this. So it's
You
not
mean
all.
work 20 hours a week?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Whatever the criteria is to get into whatever program, blah blah blah, you have to do this, and this, or you have to have this, and this, or you have to be X, Y, and Z. So these
Hmm.
aren't all the easiest things to get into, especially like what I know from food stamps, from what I like hear and see constantly. The one, they always don't provide the most money. And like you said, you can always go out and get a job, yes, but now
Hmm.
the job market is extremely hard to get into. Like I know from experience, I've applied to plenty of jobs, not even heard of nothing back or email back. But
Hmm.
one, the job market is hard. Two, jobs don't pay enough, especially for a family with X, Y, and Z kids.
Hmm.
So working at McDonald's doesn't cut it anymore. You know,
Hmm.
especially for two parents trying to bring home enough food to feed their kids or just to even keep a roof over their head. And
Yes.
then, and on top of that, trying to apply for certain programs. If you try and apply for food stamps and you make too much money according to our government, they will deny you. If you try and apply for Section 8 housing and you make too much money according to our government, they will deny you. So
Where are you going with this? I'm sorry.
I promise I'm getting it. I promise I'm getting it.
Okay.
So there are certain things you have to do in order to meet the criteria. So it's not always going to just be given to you. That's basically not like given to you,
Okay.
but it's not always going to work out in your favor.
Okay, see, that's way different than pregnancy centers because pregnancy centers, it doesn't matter who you are. If you go in and you want help, they will help you. It isn't, there's no criteria. That's what's so different about this and what's so great about pregnancy centers. They will help you in this. It doesn't matter what your history is. It doesn't matter what you want to do in the future or where you are presently. They will still help you. That's what's different about these, like with the government welfare stuff. Also, I think I don't really know where you went with that argument, but I'm just I guess that's what the whole welfare. I like
Because
genuinely have no idea what you're saying with that.
like the point is like we America isn't set up to basically always help. That's where it
Hmm.
is. So we live in a country where you have to meet criteria in order to get help.
Hmm.
And so if you don't meet the criteria, you can't get the help.
But not
And
pregnancy centers. Not pregnancy centers.
those also aren't everywhere. Let me put it like that.
They really are though. I told you that. Like for every one abortion center, there's 3 pregnancy centers that are out there to help you.
I can tell you now. And I would like to, where do I live? In my county, it's probably
Search
because
it
I have to
up. Search it
them,
up. Find out what the nearest one is to you. I'm sure it's like 20 minutes.
so the nearest pregnancy center to me would be exactly 20 minutes.
20 minutes. So it's not far, and they will help you.
And I also feel like, not to create excuses, but sometimes people don't have a way there. I mean, because once
Oh,
again,
they,
they're
they provide transportation also. So I
why.
don't think you can give me a reasonable stance on why we should have support killing human beings simply because they're smaller, because of the location, because they're inconvenience. Whenever I've proven that we can help women so much
And then we
and
all
with
have
these.
about age when it comes to this.
Okay, sure. Whenever there's a 13-year-old that has sex, I believe that if she thinks that she's old enough to have sex, she should know the consequences that come with that. I don't think that you should
I
kill I don't think you should kill the human being because she decided that she wasn't going to close her legs.
But not everyone has that option to choose, even though
Hmm.
most cases aren't like that. But
Less than 1%. Yeah.
not most cases are like that. But at the same time, even if that child decided she was ready to have sex, I don't really think that she should have to carry the casualty. Yes, she should know what her mistake
Wait,
was
why are
and
you calling the baby a casualty?
carry the casualty of having sex, not the baby. We're not talking about the baby, we're talking about the
The
casualty.
casualty of having what?
Like, she should not have to carry, for one, the baby, two, the casualty that comes with having sex. Yeah, the baby is a casualty at that age, at the age of 13, especially because 13 is what, eighth grade.
Yeah, 8th grade.
So for one, she's still a kid herself. A kid trying to raise a kid and probably not gonna have a good support system isn't really the best.
Okay. I understand that like a 13-year-old, like that's incredibly young. There was 2 girls in my high school that got pregnant and they ended up like, because I live in Texas and they both like it was both 100% consent because they thought they were old enough to have sex and they had the baby. And I don't you can't I mean, I don't think that because they had sex And I think it's actually like literal, like the moral compass. Just because you have like I've always said this. I've always said this whenever I became more and more pro-life, that like I already said it before, but if you think that you're old enough to have sex, you should know the consequences come with that. These 13-year-olds understand that they like you understand where babies come from whenever you're 13 years old, especially if you're having sex. You understand what could happen. And I don't think that you should take the easy way out, especially if the easy way out is killing a human being.
1 second. 1 second.
Okay,
Not like literally.
you're good.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Um, I feel as though even though they made the stupid mistake of having sex, especially at the age of 13, like that's like just like really dumb. Like it's like actually like, irritating me just thinking about it. I don't feel as though they should have to have the child, especially since they are so young. Once again, because they still have to go through life as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I
But
don't think
what about that baby? Why what did the baby do to deserve death?
nothing, but like it's
Exactly.
it just so happened to be in this position. It just so happened to has to be in this circumstance, this unfortunate circumstance of having such a young parent per se, young parents per se, but it's not. It's never the baby's fault in any situation, no matter if it's rape, incest, whatever, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. So why
But
does it get death? Why do you think it deserves death?
because, like I said, sometimes it comes with a casualty, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe that 13-year-old does have a loving family that will help her take care of that baby, or she has ways of abortion. But sometimes people take the easiest way out and just end all life, no matter if it's theirs or the baby's.
So
So,
you don't are you a human rights advocate?
as to like,
Do you believe are you a human rights advocate?
just put it like that, yeah.
Then why aren't you advocating for the most innocent form of human life?
Because I feel as though, once again, everyone should always have that option, no
To
matter if
kill
it or not.
people. Okay. Well, we've debated for what is it, almost 40 minutes now. So I think this was very good. Thank you so much for doing this again.
Of
Seriously. Do you
course.
have any other points or questions for me before I end the live?
No.
No, are you good with ending it now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much
Thank you.
again. You're
No,
very
thank you.
respectful and I really appreciate
Of
that.
course.
So, and thank you all for watching. Thank you so much. You have a great day. This is great. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.